What's going on, Dragon Brawler? Scott7 here for Players Guild, your guild master. And today, joining me is Loki Smith. How you doing, sir?
I sleep.
Oh, sleep is for the weak. We will never rest till we're all beeping dead. Yeah, some Bring Me the Horizon there. We are here with Blue Graded. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. We have a new Trunks leader that is very reminiscent of the set 4 Trunks, which was when we last got the mainline support of hirudegarn. But he starts now with the music bot, which is a cool addition. Like, I like being able to start with my pieces that I need to see, or else the deck doesn't work. This is a very spirit boost heavy deck, but we he has a really good activate main on the on his awakened side that I think could be quite the game changer. I really enjoyed it. It's just going up against a hirudegarn deck was very much a counter to this. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I have a dual attack barrier. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna get through that. But in general, like I actually do really like this leader.
The leader seems very interesting, but the problem is that it's too spirit boost heavy.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. 'Cause obviously, you can get Tapion Sword, which is great, but that's also another spirit boost cost.
Yeah.
So you really need a unison with a lot of markers on it
Yeah.
that will stick around.
And the unison that's available for this deck is not getting that many markers.
No, it has a nice +2.
But it's
Um,
getting 2 markers, it's getting attacked, and then you still have spirit boosts.
yeah. So I think this is a leader to watch, especially if there is a really good gain markers unison that comes down the line.
Or
Like
if we get an option to have more than one unison.
technically, you could
I
run
know, that's why I mentioned it.
yeah, that too. But yeah, like right now, cool idea. Gotta see how the concept plays out in the future. But then we'll get to a leader that is amazing, and that's hirudegarn.
The...
Possibly the best front side we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, because it reminds me a lot about what was it? Cell Surge.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
Because Cell Surge was like, oh, I'll check the top 5, add one to hand, and then discard one.
yeah. And this is pretty darn similar,
Yeah, it only,
except you can.
the difference is you need to attack, and it also takes a life.
True, and obviously you get to set up your chain with this as well because the card you discard, you're probably going to be discarding a inertia, which then
Yeah,
in turn gets you more advantage.
10-1 barrier dual attack is not something to scoff at.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. So yeah, overall a very interesting leader on the front, but we awaken,
With
and he
also
has this nice.
alternative awakening, which is interesting.
Does it? I completely forgot that he did that.
Yeah, if you have Minotia and Tapion in your drop.
Ah, yeah, I completely forgot about that one. But then like on the awaken side, I just wanted to touch upon this nice once per turn evolve skill. Like
Yeah,
I am actually currently building a version of hirudegarn that is Goku evolution chain, just because it's funny. Um, and I actually don't mind to place 2 cards from under one of your blue or green battle cards, and get the Senzu for the battle. Well, the
it
5k
gets a
power
combo.
boost. Yeah,
It's not a sense, it's a combo. You get
it
a
comes
free
in handy.
combo once per turn by ditching 2 materials.
Yeah, it comes in handy in situations like
Yeah. It's an
more.
interesting thing. It gives you that technically a card advantage, right?
Yeah, because you're not using anything
Yeah,
for it. You
exactly.
just yeah. So and there is a lot of ways to get cards underneath cards in this deck. Um,
Not as
we'll
many
move on.
as Super 17 with his absorbs,
No,
but
no, no, that's true. But we'll move on to our Tapion here, which is our unison.
for Trunks,
For Trunks, yes, that's
yeah.
good. That's a good qualifier to add to that. The only thing I don't like about this is you compare this super rare to the baby unison. It's the same, slightly weaker. Granted, it does have the spirit boost interaction, which is nice. It's actually a nice interaction. The fact that you have to switch it to rest mode to draw the 1 card, I wish it
That's
just was just draw 1 card. Like
Yeah, it could have been easily draw one card. It's a 19k, whereas the baby is 20, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's draw two.
Yeah, I think so. So
So
I don't really understand why this is here. Besides the fact that you need to have it here because that's what the foreboding music box works with.
yeah, exactly. But like again, I'm willing to be proven wrong on it. I just really wish you didn't have to switch it to rest mode to draw a card to get the two mark. Well, I mean, you can get the two markers and not switch it to rest mode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the main, the main's actually very good. The second effect because it's plus minus zero, and you get 10k to your blue leader for the 10. Like that's actually really good.
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
good.
do
The
really like
problem
that.
is that you use so much spirit boost that you can't afford to not gain markers.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. Like this is what we're saying there. So hopefully we can figure something out that can get Tapion markers in the future. Um, Otherwise, it's still a pretty solid little deck. I don't think it's going to be meta worthy just yet.
I don't think so.
Hoy, now this is your expertise.
So Hoi is alright for the hirudegarn, but you don't need it to play the game, which is the brilliant thing.
Oh, okay.
You don't need it because hirudegarn doesn't use that much spirit boost, if at all.
Mm.
I was running Tapion, and that's about that for spirit boost, as far as I know.
Okay.
So it's an alright card. Because when you play a blue battle card from your drop, you add the marker to it, building up markers. +1, you draw a card and then discard a card, so it procs your Minotia again.
Mm.
And -3, you add up to one mono blue Phantom Demon with cost 7 or less from your drop to your hand, so it can get you any of the mono blue pieces in this deck from this set. Can't grab you the 9 drops, but I think there is a combo there with the. I think it was Championship promo where the Path of Greatness Goku was and the legs.
Oh, the power up booster.
Power
Yeah.
Booster, that's the one.
Yeah.
So getting the legs, right? If you have Tapion and Minotia in a drop, you can just drop them for free if you don't have Phantom Demon on board.
Yeah. I don't mind the unison. Like if you have to put a blue unison in your deck to get your God Sealing and your Trunkses, then this isn't a bad shout at all. A 2-drop 15k that draws you a card, then also discards a card which gets you your effects. And obviously playing blue Phantom Demon stuff from the drop, you can do that very easily in the deck. So getting a free marker return essentially. Um,
At the
yeah,
same time, it's not a unison you need to see to play the game.
no, 100% no.
And that's what's so amazing about this.
Exactly. So I think it's a really good designed unison. Um, then we have Calamity Conqueror Goku SS3. What do we need to say about this card other than it's underwhelming?
It's a big boy.
It's cool on paper. I get the like obviously SS3 versus Hirudegarn. It's a thematic thing, but right now I feel like this card is super like overtuned to be super balanced, and it just doesn't make sense.
So you need to spend a marker and 5 energy to have 30k dual attack double strike.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you need to have the unison with specified cost of 3.
Yeah.
I
No,
just
that's fine.
don't see this card
Mm-hmm.
hitting as well as people think it would. I think the biggest problem is that it's not only 4 energy, it's also Spirit Boost 1.
Yeah, if it was Spirit Boost 1 for the auto instead of an energy,
Yeah,
I could get behind it. But yeah, there's so much energy cost here that the Spirit Boost just feels restrictive.
yeah.
Granted, I get it's got deflect, so it will hit, but like, yeah,
But the attack might not.
exactly. I want to love this card, I really do, but I just can't. Unfortunately, I just can't. We even said when it got revealed, it's like it's a nice concept, but it just doesn't do what I think they
Yeah, it
intended
doesn't
it
do
to
what
do.
it's supposed to on the box.
Yeah. Well, then we got a spiritless, a
Skillless.
skillless Super Saiyan Son Goku, which like it's easy to handwave over, but this is always great Union Fusion material.
So one thing I'm going to mention, I need to mention here, is this is a second card that is named Super Saiyan Son Goku and said 2-drop 20k. Because
Hmm.
there is that Veku from set 5 that searches Super Saiyan Son Goku skillless card. Or
Yeah,
a card named Super Saiyan Son Goku.
always worth pointing out. Always worth pointing out. Whether you'll use that interaction, maybe, but it's here nonetheless. And then we have Calamity Challenger Goku, which I actually think is probably one of the best blue cards in the set. It's a 1-drop blocker, deflect so it will hit. You get it's a cantrip. So the only downside is you have to play a blue Saiyan leader, which Soul Striker is one of the most commonly played blue cards, and that's a
Starter
blue Saiyan.
Potato.
And Baby, right? Baby's a Saiyan.
Yeah, on the front side is a Saiyan, yeah.
So like there's lots of good applications for this. The second effect, the activate main, limit one, spirit boost one. You play the 6-drop, but it's not great because you negate the skills for the game.
Keyword skills.
Exactly.
So no dual attack,
No
no
double
deflect,
strike.
no barrier, no double strike, triple strike, quad strike.
So essentially you just get a 25 beat stick,
Yeah.
which for 2 energy, a spirit boost 1.
I mean, auto still works, so you technically still have dual attack 30k with the one that we just looked at. That's not great.
That's not great.
Because you still spend 3 energy for the 4 energy with the skill. And the spirit
Yeah.
boost one.
It's not great, unfortunately.
And you
you
need to be
kinda
that
actually-
specific Trunks youth leader.
Yeah, the set 4 one or this current one.
Yeah.
So I mean, most people are just going to ignore that second effect. That first effect is solid though, 100% a really good effect. Second effect, not so much.
Yeah. Then we have Gohan Calamity Challenger, which is just a super combo for life for or
Super
less.
combo. Yeah. Then I actually get. I think we differ here. I actually really like these combos, so we'll go over this one and Videl at the same time, basically because they are the same card. But essentially, you're putting. You get to play it for free. Well, for 1.
Yeah.
And then you swing, and then you put this at your bottom of your deck for Spirit Boost 1 and 1 energy, and then you get Videl and swing with Videl, but she doesn't have her skills because they'll be negated. And Videl is just the opposite, where you'll find Gohan,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
So
I think it's a really strong strategy, actually.
I don't think it's a bad strategy. The problem is that it uses up Spirit Boost, uses up a lot of energy, and let's be honest, this deck, you need to have a unison with specified cost of 3. You drop it on turn 2, and now just smack that unison to oblivion.
That's true. It's I still think there's something here. Like my main thing is I probably wouldn't play this in the Trunks Youth deck. Sorry, I wouldn't play this with the Tapion leader unison in the Trunks Youth deck. I would probably switch it out for something different.
Yeah, I think GRADED would be quite nice for this.
Because that's a blocker, right?
Yeah. So you could make sure that it's easier for Videl to survive when she's left on the board in rest mode.
Yeah. And
My
then we'll
problem
go to
is that they do place themselves at the bottom of the deck. In other words, you don't net card advantage from this.
no. If it was put at the bottom and then draw one, I'd kind of be really happy with it.
Yeah, something like that.
Because that's essentially just an overlord without the overlord.
Or even put it back in hand and put limit 1 on the first activate main.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something that nets you that 5k combo.
Yeah, so you're not losing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. Then we have Great Saiyaman Call for a Hero, just a very good consistent Surger. Surger to the top 5 for a Saiyan or Airfling, pretty good.
With cost 3 or less.
Blue. Should not, or a blue unison cost with specified cost of 3.
Yeah.
So it's a great Searcher.
I think this Great Saiyaman would actually be quite nice in Soul Striker.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Really cool card. Then we'll get to Goten and Trunks.
Yeah. So
'Cause
both
essentially
Goten and
these-
Trunks have the same effect, right? The full powered
Yeah.
fusion.
And I actually think these guys have been really done dirty, not by Bandai, but by the community, because this effect is actually brilliant.
Yeah, I think
I
this
love
is
it.
really good. If you have 4 more energy, you can, for 3 energy, tutor for that really, really good Gotenks that stops the counters, essentially.
Yeah, from set 12, yeah. Really
Yeah.
good SR. There's also other options as well, and I'm sure that there'll be more 4-drop blue Gotenks down the line. Um,
I think this is a really good combo because it's a Union Fusion that doesn't play from hand. You
mm,
don't discard. You don't need to lose 3 cards from your hand to do that. So you don't need to be drawing that much in response, and they don't need to match the power.
yeah, it's so good. I really do like it, and I think the community have overlooked this combo a little bit too much. Um, that being said, like there's even more funky plays because obviously we saw with the green Boo that it was evolve on a Gotenks for one. So
Yeah,
essentially for the 4 energy you have, you can go into your Gotenks, you can swing with your Gotenks, do all of that fun stuff, and then push forward uh onto a green Margin Boo if you really wanted to. It's an option that's there. I don't think it's recommended, but it's just a funny
I
thing you
think there
could
was
do.
also a red one that evolved for colorless on top of Gotenks.
Oh, oh, even cooler. Then we get to the Calamity Challenger, Goten. It's fine. It's a
It's
fine card.
it's supposed to be supporting that Gohan and Vidal.
I wish you just played them instead of just adding them to the hand. Oh wait, it does play them.
It does play
Okay.
them, but it removes itself from board.
Yeah, if it's stuck. Yeah, because it's limited one, it should have just stuck around.
Yeah, it should have just stuck around. That's what I'm thinking. Because then it doesn't have barrier, it doesn't have anything. You can just remove it, right?
Yeah.
It's like I agree with you that there is something in that Gohan and Vidal for the two Saiyamans,
Hmm.
but I don't think it's enough. It's a cool concept, but it's just not
Oh
there.
yeah. No, I think it's something that I would want to see Bandai explore. Like that's my main thing is like there's something there. I don't think it's quite fully realized yet. I hope it's
Because
not
you have
something that
been
you
running
drop.
that against the hero, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you've never managed to pull it off.
No, because this is the problem we'll talk about once we get to the wrap up. Is the Trunks Youth deck's trying to do like 3 different things,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't work in either of them. Um, but still interesting card, and as we point out, there is something there. If you want to mess with something fun and fresh, then this Gohan Videl combo is great, and this is just part of that. Then we got the Vegeta, which is the thwarting counter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the 14. That's the Spirit Boost counter, yeah.
Then we're back to Trunks, which is the same as Goten. Then
Yep.
we get Trunks Calamity Challenger. This is a super, and I actually think it's probably the best deck card for the deck. Just because I love it so much. So when it's played, choose its one of your opponents and bounce it. It is what it is. Not spin. We've talked about countless times, but you're only playing 1 energy for it, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Um, but I really do like this, and then you can add the Tapion to your hand. Any Tapion.
Any Tapion, yeah, it's a mono blue card with Tapion in its card name, which means it can be Unison, it can be a character Tapion, etc.
Yeah. So
Uh,
this is just great.
Wait, isn't the extra card called Tapion Sword?
Yeah,
So you can search for that.
yeah.
Okay.
It's super good. It's super good. I
But yeah,
actually
that's
really
the
like it
reason why this card bounces doesn't spin. I think I would be
because
upset if this card was spinning because it would be so much value.
yeah.
But again, you put your
Um,
own cards back into the deck and you don't have that much that you can tutor with.
yeah, that is true. That is true. I'll give you that caveat. So I'm really hoping there's something that can play blue Earthlings or blue, yeah, blue Earthlings because you'll have to be able to play Videl
Yeah.
from the bottom of your deck. Like I hope we get a card like that at some point, because that's what it needs. That's what this archetype needs. Because the amount of bottom decking you're doing. Here is the on-set Air Gotenks. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's great.
I think it's alright as a rare. So you can once per turn you can Spirit Boost from Blue Unison with 2 or more to get a token with no combo power. But at the same time, you can remove any amount of tokens to bounce that many cards your opponent controls with cost 4 or less.
Right? Like it's fine. It's
It's
fine.
alright, yeah.
Then we got the Spirit Boost super combo, which is
Yep.
we've already talked about how we like
Which
them.
is what I wanted to point out in the last 2 videos we did.
Uh-huh.
Is that those Spirit Boost super combos are life 4 or less, whereas the black one is sparking
It's
5.
Sparking 5. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
True that. We've got Great Saiyaman, which is the antithesis of Gohan. Like this the reverse.
Yeah.
It's the same thing but in reverse. Then we've got Tapion, Hero of Calamity, which then we'll get into you because you kind of took these cards in the Untapped Potential series.
Yes, so this one was used in hirudegarn. You check the top 5 for Hero or Phantom Demon card with cost 3 or less, or a blue unison with cost of 2. So this one is definitely not for Trunks Youth, which requires the unison with cost of 3.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a 1-drop tutor, right? But
Yeah.
then we have the 4-drop.
I think we both agree on this. This card is awesome, and I'm so happy it's in the game.
Oh yeah, this card is like that 8-drop Goku. It was in both of our decks.
Yeah, it's just really good.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a fair use of Spirit Boost. I'm really
Yeah.
happy about it, and I know a lot of people compare this to New Ruler, and I think that's a perfect example of showing how the design philosophy has completely changed. New Ruler is, oh, if you got a unison, um, just play this card. It's a double strike. It goes away at the end of turn. This is okay. Okay, we'll let you out. You have a unison. You have 3 or more energy. You get to play this card from your hand for 1. You can only do it once per turn. And here's a Spirit Boost as well.
I like the fact that it's any blue unison with 15,000 power or more.
Yeah, same. That opens it to a lot of cards.
Yeah. You need to use
also,
the Spirit Boost. You can only play it once per turn, but it's a 20k double striker that draws a card. Yeah, it's an all-round good card. I think it's going to be one of the very good cards in Soul Striker, as we mentioned, and Vegito.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also, if you really need to, you can evolve it onto up of a blue Tapion with an energy cost of 2 or less for 2 energy, which again is not bad.
Yeah, I think I've done that once when we were playing.
You might have done actually, and obviously when you play, you draw a card. So yeah, I think we're both in agreement. This card's really cool and has one of my favorite SPRs of all time.
Yeah, the SPR looks quite nice. Then
I
we
don't
have a
actually think
Skillless Tapion, which is...
I don't actually think that scene appears in the movie. So it's a nice little bit of fan service, whether intentional or not. Like to have them both holding the sword. I just really like that SPR. Okay, let's. Skillless Tapion looks amazing.
It's just a Skillless Tapion.
And then here's the new Minutia, which is actually really darn good.
Yeah. So once per turn, so limit 1, you can, when it's discarded by your own blue skill, you play it from your drop.
Yeah,
and it's a blocker.
That is when you're playing with the Phantom Demon. That's really good.
Yeah.
Because this procs your unison, right?
That procs Hoi. That is a card you can evolve into hirudegarn on top. And it plays itself out for free.
Yeah, and then you got a blocker as well. Thankfully, it's limited 1.
Yeah. Then we have Minoshia, the hero sibling, which is a very interesting card. So you pay 1 to draw a card, and then it has Activate Main, where you can pay 1 blue. You place it in your drop area, look at the top 7 and play up to 1 blue hero card with cost 3 or less. It's peculiar card. I really like it, but I think it requires a more specific deck than I had, or I was just seeing it way too late.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a really nice card on paper. Practicality wise, it very much you want to see it early to set up, but I'm glad the deck has it rather than it not have it, right?
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. It's an interesting card because you can tutor for your Tapions and other Minoshias.
Then we have this rare boy, which I love so much, just crushing Sun Gohan to death. It's like, oh no, oh baby, no. But otherwise, I think it's just an all right card.
The fact that
it can become really scary, but it's just all right. Other than that,
the fact that you can give it triple strike is scary.
Yeah.
But the recursion on this is quite difficult. When you play it, it replaces itself as a card. Then you draw another from your leader, and then you spin one of your opponent's battle cards and restand this and 1 of your energy, which it does a lot of things.
It does. But I think the main thing is that triple strike. That's what you're going to be wanting to aim for with it.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't get me wrong. I do like it. I just think it's a bit of a there are better Hirudegons. Put it that way.
Yeah. I don't think I was using it to its full extent when we were playing though.
Yeah. Then we get on to the MVP of the deck, hands down. This card's awesome.
This card is awesome, but the MVP is going to be the next card. Is what makes this possible on turn 1.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's like the one that makes it happen more important. But
Yeah,
I like it, in and of itself, I really do rate this card. I think it's great. I think it's what allows this archetype to be so powerful.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I'm so glad it has an activate main limit. Put it that way, because that would be scary.
yeah. You need to have 4 or more energy as well. But being able to play that crit hirudegarn is scary when you can. At the same
Mm.
time, a barrier dual attack with 15,000 power on turn 1 is scary on its own.
Yeah, like you're gonna swing in and you're gonna be relatively safe doing so.
Yeah, because you
Like
attack
not much.
once, it restuns, and then you leave it there. And what you
Yeah,
gonna
not much is
do?
gonna remove the barrier that early.
Yeah,
Then
especially
we'll
not if it's not in rest mode.
then we'll talk about the MVP that literally does everything you need a card to do.
Yeah,
When we saw it, we were like, this makes the deck. Um,
yeah.
and I still stand by it. Like
We
it
proved that
does.
it does make the deck.
It does. It generally does. You just want to be playing it. You want to be playing four of. You want to see it. It's amazing. It's a great card that has a lot of applications to it, and it's not just limited, right? It's not just it does one thing. This card does multiple things depending where it is and what you need to do. It's great. Like there is no argument for me
So
that
you
this
have
card is
two
great.
different options on playing it from your drop area. Of
Hmm.
course, you want to be playing it on top of a hero card, but otherwise you can just play it for Spirit Boost 1 and 1. And the
Yeah,
most important one, because you always play it from your drop area, you need to put it there somehow, and you don't want to be discarding it with your leader skill. So it also has a skill that discards itself from hand to check the top 7 for a Phantom Demon.
yeah. So it kind of just replaces the discard, but then your discard's already set up to do that. Yeah, it's just really good. It's just really good. Minutia into this into your barrier dual
Yeah, and
attack.
that's
That's
turn 1, very easy to set up. Yeah.
um yeah. So like I think we both agree that's a really good card. Then we get music box. I want to love it. I don't love it. Like I think paying the two energy is just a lot. Like I would rather just like if this card has been on field for 2 turns,
I
do
mean,
it for
we
your hand.
can't have free playing unisons, right? When you're playing,
I guess. Yeah.
this essentially reduces the cost of Tapion by 1.
Yeah.
I still don't like it. Because
No.
it doesn't help you in any way. Tapion needs to be getting more markers, not less.
Yeah. And then the activator main doesn't do much that either, really.
You
Like
do the top
he's
3 searching for a Tapion?
just specified free,
Yeah.
but
It's only searching for Unison, so I
but
guess
you
it's
and then even
self-awakening.
if you find it, you have to put a card back. So it's
I guess this is just self-awakening, right? The same as Baby had.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I really wish this did something better than it did. Like
Yeah. Also, I'm
it's a
surprised this is a Trunks card.
yeah, yeah,
Because this feels like hero card.
yeah. Then we get the coming calamity.
Yeah, this is a...
How did they not see this?
I,
How?
simple. But I don't understand why this card is a Desire. And what the hell is it supposed to do?
So my only thinking is we've seen Desire pop up a little bit here and there. There's a championship promo with Desire. I think it's building to a new Shenron deck. Will it be good? No idea.
I think the
Well,
Desire we have seen was the green one, wasn't it?
there's the green one and there's the champion. Right, yeah. The
Yeah.
Shenron going gaga. Because that's the noise Shenron makes apparently.
Yeah.
So this one, I think it's a very much wait and see card. This is not designed for the set because you would never pay 4 energy for it.
It's definitely interesting that you can then run the hero chain in any Desire lead. No, it would need to be blue Wish leader, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need to be a blue leader to activate blue or black desires.
So I'm very curious. Potentially a Battle of the Gods wish leader for blue. Potentially another blue Shenron wish leader like Dende, right?
Oh yeah,
Dende reboot would
we're
be
not
nice.
doing draft boxes anymore because I wanted to say the next draft box leader is a wish leader.
Unfortunately, we don't have draft boxes coming.
But
Sadness.
can you
Uh,
imagine that a draft box wish leader?
just like this card gains colors in all areas.
Well, no, you play with the Dragon Balls, and whenever it attacks, add a life to your hand, and then search for 2 Dragon Balls.
But what if they're in the life?
No, you can also search the life,
So
but
you
as a
take three
cost, you
cards
add
from
the
life.
life to your hand.
And then we have Tapion Sword, which is it's great.
It's a Tapion card, which I totally messed on our initial reveals.
Yeah, it's great. Very specific use again, requiring that spirit boost, which is why we're saying maybe the Trunks Youth deck currently is too reliant on spirit boost.
Yeah.
But again, I'm willing to see what other unisons are introduced. This is only the first spirit boost set, so fingers crossed we can get something that can get markers a lot quicker. I swear, like honestly, if they bring out a spirit boost leader that gains marks when you bounce a card, it would fix a lot of
I
the
will be
problems.
fine with that, yeah.
Yeah. Currently, we have one which is the rejuvenate, but then you don't get any bonus for spirit boosting. We need one that does both. Then we have unlikely protector, which is the token negate, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's where we are for blue. And now this is very tough for me because on one hand, I absolutely adore Hirudegarn. I think it's amazing, and I think we've got some great, just new staple blue cards. The Goku Blocker, the Tapion Super Rare, both really cool.
But at the same time, we also have
A very
Trunks Youth.
inconsistent Trunks.
It's a
There's
free
a
deck
fusion engine.
wearing a trench coat pretending to be one.
There's a fusion engine of playing your Videl and Gohan Saiyaman strategy, and then whatever Trunks Youth was trying to do.
So if someone
As
asked you, what's
Spirit
the
Boost.
main strategy for a Hirudegarn, what would you say?
For Hirudegarn,
Yes, for Hirudegarn.
play your big boys and go burr.
Okay, what's the main strategy for Trunks Youth?
I play things and bounce stuff? Question mark?
Well, what things do you play? Because that's the thing. On one hand, you have that Gotenks, right? On one hand, you have the Saiyamans.
Yeah, it's
And then you have all the cards that say, if you have a unison.
I guess I feel like this was one that they were like, we need to balance this. But I don't know if they went too far with it.
I think what it might be, I think Trunks leader might be quite good. If you don't play it on theme.
Oh, I 100% agree. I think this leader is actually solid. Like as I mentioned, the activate main to get the 10k,
Yeah.
great.
I think if you don't depend on that spirit boost and you use it similarly to Soul Striker, you should be fine.
Yeah, I think so. But overall, and I think this is the lowest grade I've ever given. I'm just gonna have to give this a C. The inconsistency of one of the decks really drags it down for me. Love Hirudegarn. If we could grade on separately, Hirudegarn would probably get an S. That's how much I
was
love Hirudegarn.
done really well. It had that way to incorporate the old stuff in it.
But like the antithesis of this to that is Trunks probably would be an F because it just doesn't come together.
Yeah,
So
Trunks is a decent leader. You know what Trunks would be amazing as?
shoot.
Pre-release leader.
Yeah, I'd be a hook. Yeah, if they did Trunks and Tapion as pre-release, yeah.
Because then you don't need to build anything around it because it feels a bit forced building around it. And as a pre-release, you can make just a good leader.
I think the love here was definitely with Hirudegarn. They tried, like, I'll give them credit. They were ambitious. They tried something. Right now, it doesn't work. Will we see Trunks hero successful in future? I can see it because the active main for one spirit boost is solid. It's very good.
Yeah. Getting that double strike if you have a pre-specified cost, and you would be still running Tapion because it's working with the foreboding music box, right?
Exactly, and you've got the Tapion sword in there. So there is something. There is like there's an essence of something there for the leader. There's an essence of something there with the playing of the Saiyamans, and then there's an essence there with the more additional Gotenks fusion support.
Yeah.
The problem is it just doesn't come together. So I'm on a C here. I really really wish I could have given it higher, but
I
like
think I'm going to
I need.
stick with you there, because as much as I like hirudegarn stuff,
Mhm.
it's nothing new.
Yeah, it's just more good Hirudegarn,
Yeah.
right? Apart from maybe the front side of that leader, which is genuinely very exciting and very powerful.
Yeah, but we
I
just
agree.
got a better leader for the stuff we already had.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I think that's a very fair point as well. Granted, it needed to happen because of the green stuff, so they've kind of worked it in there, and I will again give them props for doing that. They've done it in a very interesting and cohesive way that I didn't think. Like I thought we'd have to get multicolor energies and stuff, and they didn't. They've just gone, "This is how we're doing it," and I really like that. And to even further their point, they were like, "We're reprinting the green SR because we think that's vital for this deck."
Well,
So
yeah,
they've
they
reprinted it.
did make you being able to play it. I still think we're going to see more support for hirudegarn in Anniversary Box.
I hope so. I hope we see more of this stuff because like as we said, I am gonna keep hitting the nail on the head here. There is an essence of something great with this Trunks youth stuff.
Yeah.
They've just got to figure a way to do it, and we have seen time and time again Bandai have come back to what we thought we'd never see support again, and just made it work. So I'm not gonna in a bubble. It's disappointing. Potentially amazing. Like, and I think that's the fairest way we can end there, because we do have to grade it as a whole color. As we've said, we really like Hirudegarn, but Trunks just doesn't come together. So any final thoughts, Loki?
I think it's the first time that I was generally not that excited to play around with blue cards.
Ah, that's fair. That is a fair criticism. And so there we go, guys. What do you think's of blue? I know there's a lot of Hirudegarn fans, so maybe a lot of people will be more fair on this set. Maybe I've been a bit too harsh on blue, but I think for the first time, like this is probably the most critical I've been because it's something I was very excited to play. I was very excited for this Trunks, and it just the stuff it came with
Yeah.
didn't help me play Trunks. Like it hindered me playing the Trunks, which
The deck
that's not what you
hindered
want.
itself. Oh, what's the quote from Pokemon? It hurt itself in its confusion.
Yeah. So again, this isn't to try and dunk on Bandai. This is just to let them know you have something here, and we want to see it succeed. But that's the point of graded. It's our honest opinions. Both giving it a C. I am excited for the future though of Spirit Boost and of the way the game is going.
Yeah.
Until next time, guys, we've been Players Guild. Luke Smith, thank you for joining me. I've been Scott7, your Guildmaster, and we'll see you tomorrow for more graded. Maybe, actually. Don't know if you will after this one. Who knows? There'll be a video on the channel tomorrow regardless. I don't know what it'll be. This might have been pre-recorded. Oh my gosh, we're revealing the curtain. End this now. End my suffering, Pete.